What's up, team? This is going to be not very edited. It's going to be hopefully short. There'll probably be a few of these just to hold you guys over before sweepstakes history drops, which will be a freaking while. But this is going to be a rant. It's going to be an opinion piece, no script, about Pink's new dialogue in Deltarune. I'm not going to read it out for you, but I hate how this was implemented. I absolutely despise how this dialogue was implemented. It's why in a patch 2 weeks later, and some people are saying it was to not distract from the rest of the chapter, but that makes no sense. By that logic, the whole hometown butcher shit with the normal NPC Gasser follower number 3 killing Onion Shan, that wouldn't be in the game either. By that logic, there wouldn't be any hype moments in Aura in the game. So that's just not something you do. And I'm sure there is the argument to be made, well, the Shadow Crystals, one of the biggest lore MacGuffins in the game, were added. They weren't always there. They weren't Chapter 1 server program. They weren't there. They were only added in Chapter 2, had to be backported to Jevil. But at least that came with, like, not only it came with a whole new chapter itself, but it also came with a whole, basically, redo of the game. I mean, we got, we didn't even know there'd be chapters beyond 2. We didn't know there'd be 7. Deltarune's a whole new thing, pretty much. And with the Shadow Crystals, there's also that failsafe in Castle Town. You go to, like, the ledge, where you slide off onto it, and you get the Shadow Crystal if you missed it. I'm pretty sure that is how it worked when the patch, not even patch, when Chapter 2 dropped, because it wasn't, like, added post-Chapter 2, it was in Chapter 2. It was with Spammed and Neo. And sure, there could be new interactions added with patches. There could be. But this is such a significant, it's a dump, it's a lore dump. About a character we've been speculating would have the same type of importance for a long time. That shouldn't have been in a patch. Either A, they genuinely somehow forgot to implement this, which I think if they did, they need to legit come clean and say it, because of how just egregious it is. Or B, they added it in post to clue everyone in on what they wanted to hear, which is, I have no way of knowing the team's intentions. Neither does anybody, unless they're buddy with them, obviously. But, like, you don't do that. You don't do that. That's not. You don't just drop that in a patch. And also, what makes me more off-put by it is that it doesn't serve Pink's character at all. Now I need to make it clear. When I say Pink, I mean that body darkener Pink. If I'm referring to the ghost, Mew Mew, Mad Dummy, I usually just call her Maddie. I mean, that's like a headcanon name, but Maddie or Mew Mew, that's what. So they're different. Maddie's character, fucking wonderful, juiciest allegories ever. Such a good way to do, like, a dysmorphic trans character. Wonderful. And loved that character since Undertale. And Pink being thrown to the mix on her own is wonderful. Totally wonderful, because it allows that whole umbrella allegory, it allows us to apply it to Chris, which ultimately is what the fandom wanted. I mean, that's what we predicted the trope would be with Friend Inside Me. That's what we predicted the Friend Inside Me for all the serious secret boss takes we had on the cowboy character. That's what we predicted. That there'd be someone to parallel our control over Chris. And then, so in Undertale, Maddie tries to come to terms with the body she wants. She has to, like it's not just a sudden switch, can't do it. But it's gonna take work. And then in Deltarune, it is made even more complicated, but in a good way, because of Pink. Because what happens when that body Well, see, at that point, it kind of strays away from the original allegory of Mew Mew, because then that makes it more so about the soul controlling Chris and paralleling us. But Pink adds to the old discussion, because it shows Mew Mew can't, even if she wants to look different, be different, she can't fully change who she is. And Pink shows that, because she doesn't want to be like Pink. So, like, she wants to look like Pink, she wants the body, but she doesn't want to act like actual Mew Mew Kissy Cutie, right? She wants to be herself still. So, it just shows that balance. So I need to make it very clear, because I'm about to say that I don't like Pink's character. I need to make it very clear that it is not because of those allegories. I fucking love it. I eat this shit up. Okay? I especially love Maddie's arc, man. That is... mwah. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. But... this dialogue serves nothing to Pink's character. The new dialogue. You could argue that it shows how Pink, the Darkener, has had her own experiences. Which, to that, yeah, I do kind of like that. I do. But the way it had to be shoehorned in after the fact makes it almost feel like the writers knew that her character didn't need this. That her character didn't need to have a friend lore drop. Take Jevil, for example. I know I talk about him a shit ton. I know, sorry. But he's his own character, separate from the friend shit, from what we know. And it's cool. It's very, very cool. And Pink could have been that again. Pink could have been that again. But Pink, the reason I think this dialogue was added in post is Pink is done dirty by her position in the game, period. As the last crystal holder. Now, is the Shadow Crystal questline done? No, we're definitely gonna, once we get to Sham, something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. Probably gonna fight Sham, to be honest with you, but that's a whole different discussion. But Pink is still the last crystal holder. That is still the end of our quest, pretty much, right? I mean, it's not the end. At most, it's the penultimate. But, you know what I mean? It's final. It's built up to be final. So, this late into the game, this late into the Crystal Quest line, it almost doesn't work to have this character try and stand on their own. Which, again, the character on its own is wonderful, but it is genuinely done dirty by all these expectations put on it from Jevil, especially Spamton. Not saying I needed Mew Mew to have friend ties, but especially Spamton. Spamton started that trend of the build-up. Fucking Eram, Gerson. Again, Gerson doesn't necessarily have friend ties, but Gerson has ties to the whole narrative of the damn game. So the whole thing with the secret bosses, it's building up and up and up and up, and then Mew Mew kind of just happens. Now, I don't know how else Mew Mew would be put into the game, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, she's a lot, obviously. And the fight is phenomenal. The fight is very, very fun. One of the most fun in the game. But, on a character level, she isn't allowed to blossom in most people's minds. Because because of all that expectation, and a lot of people act like it's people not being connoisseurs and not appreciating the character and wanting friend slop or whatever. But it's pretty understandable because something's been built up here. I mean, it's pretty understandable, and Jevil was able to get away with it because he was the first one. I mean, it wasn't built up yet. He was the first one. That's how he got away with it. That's why I mentioned him, because he got away with it. But when you're so late into it, I mean, of course it's going to feel disappointing in the end. Now, I didn't feel this disappointment, honestly. Some people did before the protein, what's called the protein patch. But I think the whole protein dialogue, now it makes me disappointed. Because it feels like the game is overcompensating for its writing mistakes. The game is overcompensating for putting Pink in a really a detrimental position for her character, and it just feels sloppy. It's very, very sloppy. And I think, now, albeit fan perception can always be a bit overblown, but I think the fan perception to this line, the fan interpretation of this line, shows how shoehorned it is, because my god, man. Oh my god. Oh, the fan perception now, albeit, obviously I'm not, like, actually directly mad. That'd be silly to get actually upset at someone over this. But the discussion about this protein line and people hiding from friend is getting to the point where there's just straight up misinformation going around. So I guess we can take this time to clear it up. Well, there's some things that are just silly, first off. Not going to talk about misinformation just yet, because for all we know, this could be true. But people are applying this idea of characters being scared of friend, hiding from friend, that they change their entire lives just to hide from it. And they're overblowing it. Way overblowing it, in my opinion. Spamton is the only one it truly makes sense for. I mean, that could be why it's the pink and yellow. I love the idea he's trying to blend in. But even with Spamton, some people are jumping the shark and saying he went homeless on purpose to hide from friend in the trash, which no swatch tells us why he was chucked out. And this is going off memory, but I'm pretty sure he tried sneaking down to the basement to get the Neo body. That's why. We've been told. We've literally been, and if it's not that, my point is that we've literally been told why. And some people, since this scene, I forgot to mention, this scene also connects to the eggs for some ungodly reason. That makes it feel so shoehorned too. The egg plot line just, it's wrapped in this beautiful fucking bow, and I want to make a video about it, man. But like, this has to do with the eggs now. And protein! I can't hit my protein! 52 Bummergluck Fuzzy Ryan Chicken Nuggets! And now everything's about protein for a lot of people. Like, the eggs, like, I think how dire this discussion has gotten is best shown by searches for how much protein eggs have spiking on Google. Fellers, why are we LARPing health? Have we gotten this far gone? We're LARPing health? We don't know that eggs have protein? We don't know that eggs... And there's a whole other end of it, where people are like having these revelations, like, oh, Undyne is being eaten in the shelter. Asgore's going to be eaten down to the bone, and it's going to be for their protein. Everything with meat has protein, man. They're not special. They aren't special. Chris has protein, which that could be significant. Maybe like the soul. That's the one stretch I kind of want to believe. But still, it's a stretch. Like, oh, hide your soul, because hearts have protein. Sure, until you realize Chris themselves literally has protein. Susie probably has protein. Every denizen in fucking hometown probably has protein. And if the knight used to be a lightener, then the goddamn knight has protein. I mean, it doesn't make sense, man. And then saying the Forgotten Man has all these eggs, so that's why he's hiding. That does such a disservice to the Forgotten Man's character and what's actually being built up there. There's no friend ties. It's Chris ties. Maybe Chris's trauma has to do with friend, and then that double links it to it, but the Forgotten Man has to do with Chris, and that's full stop. And I think the worst one is Jevil. People are claiming that Jevil allowed himself to be locked in the jail cell to hide from Fred. With Spamton, people claiming he went homeless to hide. You know what? Almost understandable. Swatch dialogue, I mean. Yeah, confirmed that's not why he went homeless, but you know what? There's a whole other thing with his character, and it's clearly hinting toward, and then like Spamton clearly is scared, frazzled. So you know what? Sure. But Jevil's not fucking frazzled. And to boot, Sham goes into detail in their shop about why Jevil was locked up. Like, what happened and why. If anything, Jevil is the secret boss that we have the most concrete backstory for, besides, I guess, besides Pink. Or, besides Mew Mew, really, because obviously, she was built up in Undertale. And Pink, you can kind of connect. Whatever, my point, freaking Jevil is the most obvious one. We're literally told that Jevil was spouting some bullshit after he met somebody, which, if friends are confirmed to be goddamn stupid, then it was not friends, by the way. Don't even try telling me that bullshit. It was WD Caster or something. But Sham tells us Jevil was locked up as he was spouting bullshit around the Card Kingdom. And a lot of people have had this idea, which I almost kind of agree with, that Jevil may have even been hurting people. Like, harming people, going fucking crazy. Sending chaos out the wazoo. So yeah, he had to be locked up. And that serves his character. Not to shill, but you're watching my video anyway. I have a whole video about what I call the I can do anything pipeline. Should info card it if I remember, like a not idiot. But all of this serves Jevil's character wonderfully. So if all of that is just Jevil's master plan to act crazy and to hurt people, more than likely, all that is his master plan to be locked up just so he's safe and sound. That is silly. That is so silly. And blatantly wrong. Blatantly wrong. More so than Forgotten Man and Spamted. And anything else anyone's arguing. That is the most absurd. The only characters we know for sure are scared are Pink and Spamted. That's it. That's it. That's all we know. That's all we know. Now, would the dialogue have gotten this reception anyway if it was in the game upon launch? Probably. But, like, it's still just absurd to me that it is warranted all these misconceptions. But for once, I'm not going to act like it's fully the fans' fault. It is the writing's fault in this case. It warrants this type of thing. The way this was implemented into the game is partly the reason why it's being perceived like this. Because why was it fucking dropped? Not only just dropped in a patch, but onto a character, which I talked about that already, but onto a character that didn't need it. I just feel bad for Pink's character, fan. She's put, again, in such a detrimental position in the game, where she's almost backed into a corner, and that almost feels like that's why this line was added, because the writers were backed into a corner. And like, oh shit, we have to make her talk about something relating to everything else, so let's overcompensate. It's not fair. I'm talking about a fictional character like this. I don't care. It's not fair. It's not fair. And this line, this might be jumping the shark, but it's my opinion. Genuinely, this protein line alone makes Pink the bottom secret boss for me. Pink was like maybe a bit above, I don't know, ERAM or something. Very obviously, again, love Mew Mew's character. I need to make that so fucking clear that I'm not hating out of something blind, or that, God forbid, transphobia. Hell no, that's stupid. People are hating her because of that. That are stupid. They're absolutely fucking stupid. If you're watching this video thinking that, you need to reevaluate yourself, man, because there's no reason to care about that shit. Live your life. Let people live. But this dialogue, at least with ERAM, it's fucking building up to something. Mew Mew is just shoehorned. Doesn't need to be there. Ridiculous. Makes her bottom secret boss. I'm sorry. Bottom secret boss. Bottom tier. Maybe something will come out in the future that reconciles what she's saying. I don't know. I mean, she's going to get screen time in Castletown. Maybe maybe something will make her likable to me again, but for now it's just combined with her weak position in the game and everything else. It's just my point. This is going on for a while, and I'm sorry, it's a rant. Unscripted rant. But my point is that Pink was just done dirty, man. Pink was just done dirty by the game. and by the writing of the game. And this dialogue about the protein seals the deal for me. That she was done dirty. I don't know where else she could go, but god damn it, she was done dirty. That's all I want to say. I'm not going to ask to subscribe or something. This is like a low effort shit rant. Whatever. I just need to get my thoughts out there. And also to clear up the misinfo, because holy shit! The Jevil stuff, the Jevil stuff's got me fuming! It's got me fuming! So, that's it. Sayonara!